everyone, this is Dr. Liv with New Insight, and thank you so much for joining me in another video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and join the New Insight community for daily clinical and practical content to improve your mental health, healing, self-growth, and relationships. I hate people. This is a thought and feeling that has become more prevalent in our society. And I know it sounds harsh, mean, rude, disrespectful, not politically correct. Such an ugly thing to say. I hate people. But let's really unpack what this statement means psychologically. Because when people say this, most of the time, they don't literally hate every human being on earth. Usually, there's something deeper underneath it. So is it because they're antisocial? Are they just hateful people? Is it a trauma response, a defense mechanism, emotional burnout, disappointment, distrust? What is this? People are complicated. People have needs, expectations, attitudes, opinions. People can be selfish, manipulative, controlling, critical. Some people lack morals, empathy, accountability, or respect for boundaries. Some people have poor emotional regulation and poor self-control. They say and do anything without thinking about the impact it has on others. Some people exploit, they intimidate, they weaponize their titles, money, education, status, popularity, or power to control others. And after enough painful experiences with people, some individuals become emotionally exhausted. Interacting with people can become mentally taxing. Too many personalities, too many moods, too many attitudes, and too much unpredictability. You become tired of wearing the mask, tired of trying to read the room, tired of dealing with drama, manipulation, passive aggressiveness, fake support, hidden agendas, emotional immaturity, and constant disappointment. And eventually, some people stop saying I'm hurt and start saying I hate people. Now, psychologically speaking, this statement is often rooted in emotional pain, disappointment, chronic stress, unresolved trauma, betrayal, or emotional burnout. Because when someone has repeatedly experienced rejection, invalidation, abandonment, manipulation, humiliation, bullying, exploitation, or emotional abuse, they may begin to associate people with danger. Their nervous system no longer experiences social interaction as safe. And this is important. Sometimes I hate people is actually the nervous system saying, I don't feel emotionally safe around people anymore. And that is very different. For some individuals, this develops after narcissistic abuse, toxic family systems, chronic workplace stress, racism, discrimination, unhealthy relationships, betrayal trauma, or years of emotional neglect. When people repeatedly drain you emotionally, use you, dismiss your feelings, violate your boundaries, or only value you for what you can do for them, resentment can build. And over time, you can become cynical. You begin to deeply mistrust people's intentions, and that cynicism becomes a form of self-protection. Some people emotionally withdraw because they are overwhelmed. Some isolate because they're overstimulated. Some detach because connection has become associated with pain. And honestly, many people are just emotionally exhausted from human behavior, especially highly empathic people, because empathy without boundaries becomes self-neglect and self-abandonment. You can become tired of constantly understanding everybody else while no one seems to understand you. Tired of overextending yourself, being the strong one, the helper, the peacemaker, the emotionally available one. And eventually compassion fatigue can set in. Now, Does this mean every person who says I hate people is emotionally healthy? No. Sometimes this mindset can become unhealthy if it turns into chronic anger, bitterness, hostility, emotional isolation, or complete distrust of everyone. This can also be characteristic of antisocial personality disorder. But we have to understand that while people can absolutely hurt you, healthy connection is still important. Humans are wired for connection. Not every person is manipulative. Not every person is unsafe. Not every person is toxic. But I do think many people are craving safer relationships, more accountability, more honesty, more emotional maturity and availability, more respect, and more peace. And honestly, some people don't hate humanity itself. They hate fake behavior, deception, mind games, lack of empathy, emotional immaturity, constant negativity, and being emotionally drained. So there's a difference. Now, another psychological component behind this statement, I hate people, can be disappointment. The more expectations people have of others, the more hurt they may feel when those expectations are not met. Some people become emotionally hardened after repeatedly giving love, loyalty, support, patience, grace, and effort, only to receive in return disrespect, inconsistency, betrayal, or indifference. And eventually they emotionally shut down, not because they were born hateful, but because disappointment accumulated over time. And some people begin generalizing all human interactions based on painful experiences. And that's the mind trying to protect itself from future pain. But healing requires balance, because if pain convinces you that everyone is dangerous, you may unintentionally isolate yourself from healthy people too. And isolation can sometimes protect you temporarily while also increasing loneliness, depression, distrust, hypervigilance, and emotional disconnection long term. So, what's the healthier goal? Not blindly trusting anyone, not tolerating toxic behavior, not forcing yourself to constantly socialize, but learning discernment, learning to vet people properly, set boundaries, advocate for yourself, your needs, your expectations, your boundaries, emotional regulation, learning who deserves access to you and who does not. Because protecting your peace does not require hating humanity. You can love people from a distance. You can have compassion while still having boundaries. And you can limit access without becoming emotionally cold. And sometimes healing looks like realizing I don't actually hate people. I'm exhausted from unhealthy interactions. And that's different. So if you've ever found yourself saying, I hate people, I encourage you to pause and self-reflect. Ask yourself, what experiences made me feel this way? Is it anger, burnout, disappointment, betrayal, emotional exhaustion, lack of safety? Because awareness does matter. And healing is not about becoming naive. It's about becoming healthier, wiser, more discerning, and more emotionally protected without losing your humanity in the process. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep healing. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.